What's up everybody, Gundam Flexing here, and in this video we're going to be checking out the high-grade RGM-96X Jesta Cannon model. This is the Earth Federation Space Force Special Operations Mobile Suit. This model is featured on the very popular Gundam OVA/TV series Gundam Unicorn. Now this kit came out in 2013 and can still cost you roughly around $20. And for $20, you get this awesome looking Jesta model, which is thicker than the non-cannon version. You also have a simple sticker sheet, a simple decal sheet, 2 handheld range weapons, 1 beam saber, an optional shield and mounts, a variety of hands, and interchangeable colored pieces. So before we go into the model itself, we're going to check out all the extra periphery items first. And coming up first is the sticker sheet. This is the decal sheet, and as you can tell, it's very simple. There are no issues. My favorite here is the orange colors right here, which is very sparse. However, I think the orange is a very good color against the dark blue, overall color of the dark blue of the Jesta model. And next is the optional decal sheet. And here it is. It's very simple, and again, the instructions on the back would give you recommendations on where to place these decals, or you could just freely put them on wherever you like, or just save the decal sheet. And here we'll have the Earth Federation emblems all over here, and here is the Anaheim Electronics, which is pretty much like the Universal Centuries version of Lockheed Martin or Raytheon. And at the top we have digits, and all except for the zeros, you just have single digits, and for the zeros you have double zeros. And here we have the smaller digits right here. And of course we have his extra weapon systems, which coming up first is this beam saber. And this is interesting because beam saber is going to be mounted on the side skirts as an option. So currently they have like grenades on the side skirts, but if you wanted to, you could take those grenades out and then attach it with this one, which has this beam saber. And of course you only get one, even though if you got 2 standard beam sabers in this runner. But this is just an option. I don't think I really like to use close range weapons on this model, simply because he is the cannon version and the cannons are ranged weapons. Next is his shields. Here it is. So again, I think the shield is a little bit weird, not just because of the shape, but because of where it's mounted. Currently the shield is going to be mounted on his backpack, which if you see, his cannons are actually mounted on his backpack. So in order to use this shield, you would actually have to take the cannons out, which sort of defeats the whole purpose of being the Jesta Cannon. And not only that, it's a little bit strange, but he only gets 1 shield instead of 2. And as you notice here, here's this little mount area which goes into a PCP area, and it's connected here to hold the shield. Now this shield can't really be mobile like this, and you can't really twist it and turn it and put it in certain angles. So how this kit remedies that issue is it provides you a variety of connector pieces. So this is one, this is another connector piece, and then you have a third type which is currently in the runner right here, and you get 2, 1 for each side. So again, the shield is a little bit awkward for me because in order to use a shield, you got to remove the cannons, and currently that's not something I'd want to do, but that's just something that you're aware of. And next are his hands. And before we go into his hands, I want to say that unfortunately this guy only has 1 trigger hand, and that's his right hand. So even though you have 2 range weapons, you have his cannon and you have his rifle, you only get 1 trigger hand. And how right now this rifle is actually mounted in his hands incorrectly, it's just simply wrapped around. And we'll check out the weapons very soon, but you'll notice here that his weapon system has a little notch there, but in his left hand there are no notches to fit. So how I decided to do this is just simply wrap the hand around and just squeeze it together. It's not too secure and it's going to be very easy to knock out, but I do want to attach both weapon systems. More guns, better model. So, and his other hands would include all these. So you do have a hand that could hold both his beam sabers, or excuse me, he has both open hands to hold a beam saber, his left and right hand right here. He has both open hands for dynamic posing, there. And again, he has a closed fist right here And this is another open hand right there. So he has 2 closed fists, 2 open hands, 1 trigger hand, and 2 of these type hands. Just important to know that he only has 1 trigger hand, which is unfortunate. And then finally, what I want to highlight are the interchangeable pieces on this model. So for example, here you'll notice we have dark blue shoulder pieces right here, which it only makes for 1 shoulder piece. And that's the same for this. This goes over a kneecap and it's dark blue versus the colors that are currently gray. Even this piece here where it holds the rocket mounts or the grenade mounts on the side of his legs and on the side of his hands, right here on the back of his hands. And finally, here's our grenade pods right here, triple, and they're all dark gray. And generally, you only get one of each. So I think how Bandai wanted to do it is, if you wanted to, for example, change out one of his shoulders, here's the dark blue piece, and you're able to stagger the color, dark gray, and then you have dark blue. But just keep in mind that, for example, for this dark blue shield mount, you don't have the extra plating options right here, which sticks out. And that goes for the same for this. So utilizing the dark blue, yeah, the color scheme is pretty cool because they're staggered dark gray, dark blue. However, the dark blue will not have the same features as the dark gray. And that includes one here, which is his skirt. So again, his skirt has plating options, whereas this version of the skirt, if you choose to use it, does not. The only option you have is to use the side plates right here and right here, which are currently being mounted on the model right there. And now onto his weapon system. Here is his rifle with a very long, like, silencer type barrel. It's a very simple weapon system. I like the overall detail. You can see right here, all the little notches right there. And of course you have like a handle right here, the grip, and a magazine. And of course we have right here, sort of reminds me like a G36 right here. And of course you have a sticker at this end as well. This is a very simple weapon system. It's just pretty much, it's like 3 pieces. You get the barrel, you get the left piece, right piece, and you slap it together. This is very cool looking though. And here's this other machine rifle right here. And of course we have this trigger hand right there. And again, this is similar to this piece right there. It's very simple. It's just left piece, right piece, slap it together. Here's the barrel, and here's like some sort of grenade launcher right there. Here you have a orange sticker. And I thought this was interesting because the instructions allowed you to have what I'm assuming is like some sort of shoulder mount, right? So here, for whatever reason, you're able to have the back piece open like this, which like that, as if it's open. I guess as he's shooting, the shells are shooting out from this area right here. That's what I can only presume. You could even see what I'm presuming is another shell right there about to be shot. Or you could simply put this piece down all the way. It's a little bit strange. Don't really know the purpose of it, but I guess it's a cool feature. And here we have, notice that his trigger hand right here has slanted, so it gives you a lot of wrist mobility. And unfortunately, this magazine drum, you can't take it out. So, but overall, I sort of like this weapon. It's definitely tall, and it's definitely thin. And now we could check the model itself. Now the Jesta model, in my opinion, is probably one of the coolest model designs, at least for the Federation. One of my favorite designs in Federations, and definitely one of my top favorite designs in Gundam, regardless of which timeline we go of. I think this guy is incredibly mean, and the fact that this model has like a ton of plating features, man, he just looks super thick, super mean. But here is his head, and one of my favorite portions of the head is that he has an orange visor right there, and it is transparent, and if you look very closely, you can sort of see that mono eye type right behind it. In the center of his head, he has an orange sticker, and in the back, he has an antenna. Now, of course, he has a covering right here, which is meant to go down, but this model will not allow you to have it. It's just typically for decoration. But just know that in the show, this visor here, this headband would go down. And if we look at his awesome cannons, basically has like an auto cannon and a beam cannon mounted here. It's strapped onto the backpack right there. And a good thing about this model is that the joints fit very tightly. and that includes this mount. Now, it does take me quite a bit of effort to take out the mount right here, and we go in here. And again, as I mentioned before, if you wanted to place the shields, you could just place the shield right here, or use the other mounts as you see fit. But again, I definitely am not going to use the shield. The cannon is way cooler in my opinion. Here's his backpack. It's very simple. He only has 2 thrusters at the bottom. We look at his chest. One of my favorite features is the plating. Again, you can notice here, the plating on his left and right side are actually individual pieces, which I think is pretty cool. And we have more plating on the shoulders. And these platings are pretty cool, especially the color complements the dark blue. So you have like a dark blue and then you have the light color gray. It's pretty cool. And you also have the repeated plating on this side, on the back end of his shoulders as well. Here's his arms. Now his arms, in my opinion, should have pretty much carried his shield as an option, but I don't know how much space he would have had for it. Here's the back of his arms, has a piece right there. And of course, here's another portion of his arms, which is different than his right arm. His left arm is thicker right here with this piece. And we look at his skirt. The center of the skirt, this Federation type emblem, is a sticker. Of course, we have more plating on his skirts right there. And on his side skirt are the little rocket pods. So it's pretty much 3 on each side. And again, if you wanted to switch out one of these pieces, they're all connected to a PC joint, and you're able to pop that out. And if you wanted to just attach his beam saber right there. What's also a pretty cool detail is the side right here. He has the side tubing behind his skirt, so it's sort of like a Zaku, except these don't have like the small cylinders that surround it. Nothing too spectacular about the back skirts. And then we come down to his legs. So here are his kneecaps, which also have like this additional armor plating. We have more grenade stuff right here on the side, which unfortunately do not open up. It's just aesthetic, it's all for show. Here's the back of his legs. Cool design right there. As you can see the piping system right there and there behind his kneecaps. And we look at his feet. His feet are pretty much a single piece. So in other words, you don't have any ankle flexion or heel to toe flexion, which isn't a big deal. But if you wanted to sort of pose him like where he has to bend his toes to make it easier, you cannot do that. But it's not a big deal. Most high grades don't offer that anyways. Here's his ankles going back and forth, side to side. No issues there. Here's the back of his legs. Here are the calves, and the calves have 2 thrusters openings right there, these 2 vents. Pretty cool design. And while we're looking at this portion, it's important to note that here is how his hips are pretty much all connected. And it's pretty typical in like early 2000 high grade models. And it's not a super big issue because it just gives you enough strength where the legs don't come out as easily. But if you wanted to like push his legs out really far, I don't think this particular design allows you to do it, but it's fine. It's just something that I noticed when I was just messing around with this posing. Right there, the joints are very sturdy, and he has a wide range of motion in his arms, in his shoulders, in his hips, and in his knees as well. So there aren't any issues. So overall, I think the Jesta Cannon model is a very great model. The biggest selling point really for me is that it's a Jesta model, and he has awesome looking cannons. He has great weapon systems, very minimal stickers. He has optional decals and a variety of hands. I think the hands is a really good selling point. It gives you a lot of dynamic posing options if you wanted to. But that's all I have to say about this particular model. If you have any questions or comments, please post it down in the section below. As always, I appreciate you all for watching, and then I will see you guys next time. Dang, this video almost ran for 15 minutes. All right, guys, peace out.